My name's George, and so I got unwell. I caught COVID in 2020. So at the time, I was 22. I was in my last year of university at Sheffield studying engineering, and I was generally like for a 22-year-old, pretty quite fit. So I play a lot of volleyball, and I was training. My ambition at the time was to go on to play professionally and play for England. So I was playing 4 or 5 times a week and gymming about the same much while studying. So I was in pretty decent shape for a 22-year-old. Generally, the COVID was extremely mild. I think if there wasn't the fact that I knew it was COVID, I wouldn't have really thought anything of it. I just think I've got a cold, like a pretty average cold at that. Like really, I can't stress enough how mild it was. So I very much just thought, okay, well that's fine. Give it a week. I'm over it now. Feel pretty normal. So then I started to try. Okay, I can go back to. I've been resting for a week from exercise. I'll go back to training. Ease back into it. And that's when the symptoms of long COVID started to flare up. So I then go for a gentle run, like around 2 miles, quite slowly, and then came back, felt fine. Day or two afterwards, felt quite unwell. So the main symptoms for long COVID for me were, I felt the biggest one was fatigue. That I generally just felt wiped most of the time. I tend to describe it like I was hungover, without the nausea. Then brain fog was another really big one. So I like to read a lot, and I honestly couldn't read anything. I had to read like a children's book would be the most sort of challenging thing I could read. Anything with any substance was just beyond me. I just read the same page like 5 times. So the fatigue as well was quite challenging. It basically got worse and worse. I mean, at its worst, I barely walk 500 meters, and then I was like, okay, I need to lie down now. It's horrendous because every time I tried to make plans, I had to make it with the caveat I might feel dreadful on the day and have to bail, or like I might have walked upstairs too many times in the morning. Now I'm wiped, and so I can't come. These little changes to a lifestyle sort of all add up and make you feel like nothing's quite normal anymore. We started the Gupta Program about late autumn in 2020, so maybe October time. And then we committed to it pretty religiously certainly for 3 months, maybe 4 or 5, and then still came back to it a little bit more after that, sort of tapping back in when you needed to. But we'd gone so much better by that point. And then in terms of the benefits, so the big one was just, there's several. The general pattern, obviously, is just over time, we're getting better and better. So physically, we're starting to be able to first get fatigued less and less brain fog, more able to engage with things. I was living in Sheffield at the time, so going for a walk in the Peak District became an option again. And then eventually, after a while, I felt stage where, okay, I'm ready to start trying to like train. And so just do some push-ups in the living room when I started just to do strenuous physical exercise, like doing push-ups again, to actually feel like I'm training and getting stronger as opposed to just being on this downhill trajectory of my body just feels like it's atrophying and I'm getting weaker and weaker. That was a huge one. I like playing chess. So when I was able to actually play chess again, because that's very much like a mental, so you're focusing, it's kind of tiring, burn quite a lot of calories doing it. So being able to do that again was huge, because before, again, it was just a complete write-off. I just could not focus on anything. Similarly with reading a book, like reading an actual book again was huge because I like to read. And again, when I was at my worst, it was a complete non-starter. A good 6 months where I couldn't read a book at all.